Episode 2, A Pocketful of Theodores. This show sucks.
A pocket full of Theodores. What is that related to?
I don't know. I think maybe it's like because not Kate's dad is rich and not played by Erica Estrada. And so and his name on the show is Theodore as opposed to Erica Estrada. That'd be my guess.
All I wanted was Erica Estrada to come in.
I mean, you got him. Like the character on the show is no different than it's the Malibu Dan and this show are the same show, except Malibu Dan is good.
Hashtag Beaver Cleaver.
That's right, yeah. No, it's yeah, listeners, don't watch Hitting the Brakes. This show is kind of like it's become this thing on YouTube, like I've seen a lot of different people talking about this show online, and nobody talks about Malibu Dan. So we were ahead of the curve on that one. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But Hitting the Brakes is a show that I've seen a few people talk about, and everyone agrees across the board that it is trash garbage. It's awful. It's a bad show. And 2 episodes in out of 10, a fifth of the way through it, I would go, yes, it's trash garbage. It's awful.
But I would argue that Malibu Dan the Family Man is worse. Like, the green screens are terrible, the locations are bad, the plot is terrible.
There's twice as many episodes.
The characters aren't great.
Yeah, but there's less of them.
Yeah.
And they're not trying as hard. Like, this show, they're trying so hard to be a clever, witty, just like... like just trying to throw zingers out, and everybody's a wacky character and blah blah blah. At least on Malibu Dan, they were like somewhat real people. They were somewhat grounded people, and they weren't just like zany caricatures that you could sum up in one sentence. Who is this person? Well, she's the gruff and tough vegan who owns the vegan restaurant. And, who is this person? He's a big dumb biker. Who's this person? He's the handyman who's a doomsday prepper. They're just one note nothing characters.
That's very true. I feel like this has something to do with us coming from Malibu Dan the Family Man, because we both hated this show so much.
Oh, God.
Like, I want to scrap the 8 episodes.
Nope. We got to do them.
We got to do them, and we're going to do them, and we love doing them.
Oh, we love it. We love it. Listeners, usually I take about a page and a half of notes, on my notepad file. That's roughly what I take per episode, about a page and a half. This episode, I took less than half a page of notes.
Yeah, same. Like, when I would be watching Malibu Dan the Family Man, I would look at my notes and go, why am I writing all this? 'Cause I'm not going to talk about all of this at all. And there were so many little things that you could talk about, and this episode just doesn't have anything. Like, I'm not writing down anything about dartboards,
nope,
or things on the wall,
nope,
or any fun things. Like, it seems like the fun has just been taken out of this show for some reason.
But I will say that means that they did this because this show came out first, so they did this show and then went oh, we need to make it fun. And then they made a fun version of it, which was Malibu Dan the Family Man.
That's very true. And a cheaper version.
Well,
they
way
must
cheaper.
have paid so much for these sets.
There's in this episode alone, there is about 45 people just milling about. You have to pay all those people. There's just a lot of people. Yeah. And so Malibu Dan, they went, what if we took 45, what if we took an entire town and narrowed that down to about 7 people? Can we make that work? And we got rid of all the practical sets except for one, and we put the rest of them on green screen. Could that save us a bunch of money? And they went, yes.
And inject a lot of Heller method. I feel like the Heller method is very primo in Malibu Dan the Family Man, and they barely even scoffed at it in this show.
Well, that's because Darlin Arlen isn't on the show yet. Spoiler alert, he joins the show in the next episode, so I'm very excited to see what kind of manic energy red-haired Arlen brings to this show. He looks...
I hope he's wearing an Arlen suit and he just acts like Arlen the whole time. And maybe even responds to Arlen.
That would be nice. But his name is Brad Heller. He just stole the name
Brad
of a real
Heller.
man. Hi, I'm Brad Heller from the Heller Method. I will say, though, this show, I love Malibu Dan's theme song. I love it. Bam, bam, bam. I love it. It's great. It gets me hype. It makes me so excited. But this show has an also great theme song that I recorded because the listeners have to hear it. We described it in the last episode, but that didn't even do it close to justice. This theme song is like, well, just listen to it. It's amazing.
We're living in a hotel.
Hoping that it goes well. I gave it up for my family's sake. Oh, hitting the brakes,
Hitting the brakes, hitting the brakes.
Amazing.
Family's sake.
I'm hitting the brakes. I love it. I love that song. It's not as instantly iconic as Malibu Down the Family Man, Wake Up It's a New Day Dawning, but it does have great lyrics.
Did you record the Malibu Dan the Family Man theme song as well so we could compare them?
Of course I did.
Did we ever play that for the audience?
We did,
back in
yeah.
the day?
We did. But here it is again.
Wake up to a new day dawning. A picture paints a million words in this town. Everyone take their place. Who's leading? The happening news today. Foggy skies turn blue today in Malibu.
Yes, Queen.
Oh, that made me sad.
That made me so sad. I was like, yeah, let's get some Malibu Dan on, and then that makes me even sadder.
Oh no. Now we're never. Well, here's the thing. Malibu Dan is still on this show. Holiday Sinclair is still on the show. Reggie, Chuck from accounting. Soon Darlin Arlen's gonna be there. Others. Couple others.
So are you just gonna like turn your brain off and imagine that it's Malibu Dan the Family Man?
Yeah. Malibu Dan leaves Kate. He takes Holiday Sinclair. They go to the mountains. Well, first he becomes a successful race car driver, and then whoa, he crashes into a wall, and then
You're halfway there. Oh!
and so yeah, I'm gonna create my own version of this show in my head. That's just a fantasy of Dan realizes, you know what? I don't love Kate anymore, even though she's a dime and a total catch.
Yeah.
I want to marry Holiday and then have her change her personality entirely to be the opposite of who she is.
But look exactly the same as Holiday Sinclair.
Of course, yeah. Do that gross thing where she does her eyebrows. Ugh. Didn't like that in Malibu Dan.
That didn't make you hornjorned.
No, it did the opposite. It gave me an innie. What's to talk about? God, how far into this episode are we? Oh, we're not even 10 minutes in. Oh, no.
Well, we played both of the theme song, and I was like, hey, that's going to eat up some time. This is groovy-tastic. But now we're only at 10 minutes. And my next thing that I was going to say was, what do we talk about in this episode?
Well, here's the thing. There is a big thing to talk about in this episode, and that is who plays Holiday Sinclair's parents.
Not Rob Schneider.
Not Rob Schneider. Well, hey, all right, no spoilers, all right? Let's not reveal who the other guest stars are on this show until they come up, because, ladies and gentlemen, there are some crazy guest stars on this show, some of which we're trying to get come on our show. So we'll see how it all works out as things go on. That's why we can't give up on this, because we're trying to get some of these people to come talk about it. Will it work? Probably not, but, you got to try. So it's not Rob Schneider, who does show up on this show. Heads up.
Does he?
Yeah, he's in like episode 9, I think. Pretty sure Rob Schneider's in there somewhere. But
Yeah, you gotta backload him. You can't get him in too quickly.
you know who you can get in real quickly? Mr. Twin Peaks himself, Ray Wise, playing Holiday Sinclair's dad, Theodore Sinclair, I guess.
I'm not a crook.
Huh. Well, he's not.
Is that Ray Wise?
That is Ray Wise, yeah. But he is also Antonio Sabato Jr.'s character from other show, Malibu Dan.
Is he Sabato Jr.'s father?
Hey,
In
that's
real life?
I think so, yeah.
They look very similar, except for different.
Yeah, one is an Italian heartthrob, and one is Antonio Sabato Jr. Hey, classic comedy.
Classic comedy. We should do that more often. Bring in more viewers.
Oh, some serious humor.
Yeah.
And who plays Holiday Sinclair's mom? Why, it's Morgan Fairchild, someone who I know by name, and that's it. I don't know who Morgan Fairchild is.
And by butt. You've probably seen her butt quite often.
You think so?
Yeah, she's got some chesticles.
Yeah. Who is Morgan Fairchild? Do you know her from things?
No, and her known for on IMDb is just Friends.
It's just hitting the brakes.
No, she looks like one of those Charlie's Angels, but I don't think she was.
But I think you're on the right track. I think Morgan Fairchild was somebody in like the 80s, maybe. Maybe she was a soap star.
Yeah, I feel like she had a workout video as well.
Maybe she did. Yeah. Well, you're doing some
Maybe
research.
it's just me wanting to see her work out.
Maybe, yeah. In this episode, she plays Morgan Fairchild. I don't know if she's given a name.
In her IMDb profile photo, she looks like she has a Hank Azaria chest.
What does that mean? She's playing a
Well,
racist
have you not
cartoon
seen
character?
Hank Azaria's chest? He's got like huge, like Arnold Schwarzenegger pectacles.
Really?
Yeah, Hank Azaria is jacked in the chest. Nowhere
Sure he
else,
is.
but in the chest. Ooh wee.
He's carrying all that weight of playing racist characters on cartoons. That thank goodness we canceled that. We canceled those characters. It's a real
cancel
victory.
those?
I don't know what they did with them. I think they got like a different guy to play them. Heroes. That's hero stuff right
Different
there.
white guy.
Yeah, that's right. An even whiter guy than Hank Azaria.
Smaller chest.
Well,
Look
of
up
course.
Hank Azaria's chest later on today.
Oh, okay.
You'll do yourself a favor.
All right. Okay, I will. I'll look it up right before I go have a shower.
Oh man, how's your shower gonna be?
It's going to be good. Yeah, I love getting wet.
Yeah, me too. When I get wet, I love getting wet.
Mm-hmm. You know how we described all the characters with one sentence? Here's Reggie's character. Reggie is the owner of the Puff and Stuff convenience store or whatever, and he has a coffin to sell, and that's his whole thing. I sell. Is someone gonna buy my coffin? I have a coffin to sell. Will
Think
he
he's
sell
gonna
it?
sell that coffin eventually? Maybe somebody dies.
Oh my God, we can only hope. Maybe someone's murdered and Chuck has to like solve it. Maybe this is just gonna become Twin Peaks. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. And it's a smaller coffin that would fit like the teenage daughter perfectly. So maybe she goes missing.
It is like a teen coffin. That's a really good point. He stands next to it and he can rest his arm on it comfortably. He couldn't fit in that coffin. It's a child's coffin. Why isn't he selling it like that? I got one child's coffin for sale. Who's got a dead kid? A recently dead kid who needs to be buried. Come on, help a guy out here. Help Reggie out.
Should we go into the teen coffin business?
It's lucrative.
Yeah, probably makes so much money.
Oh,
Just hand over
God.
fist.
Man, being in the funeral industry, period, you'd make so much money. It's such a racket. It's such a brilliant scam. Spend $5,000 on a box that's just literally just gonna rot. It's the whole point of buying it.
When I go to funerals, I know I should be grieving my relatives, but all I can think about is how much money the funeral home is making.
Yeah, right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Like, all you have to do is put out a couple of cucumber sandwiches and bury somebody, and you make thousands.
That's it. Easy.
Millions.
I mean, you got to pay the gas for the backhoe, but, you know, that's okay. The gas, you fill that tank, you're getting 7, 8, 9 plots out of that. So, you know, you're still making pretty good profit off of it. And funerals are an evergreen business. They're never going away. People are dying forever. So, brilliant.
Brilliant. Until we get suicide booths, then we'll be living.
That instantly incinerate you.
Yeah, instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Not even ash will leave that booth.
Nothing will. The next person comes in and it's like when your shower drain plugs. There's just stuff on the bottom and you have to go like, well, I'm just standing in the ash.
Treasure.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you'll find a ring in there or something. Maybe you'll find Reggie's wedding ring, even though he's not married and he just wears a wedding ring because he's a gosh damn pickup artist and he's studied the game and he knows you wear a wedding ring, you're going to seem more attractive to loose women in bars. Reggie, smart man.
Yeah. Or maybe he is just secretly married.
Nope, certainly didn't sound like it. Maybe his smoke show wife will show up. I don't know. Maybe. I doubt it. But
yeah,
maybe
probably
so.
not. Reggie's is going to be alone forever in this universe.
Oh, yeah. You know, we talked about how much money this show must have cost, and seeing the cast list and who all the cameos that they are going to have coming up here, this show probably did cost a lot of money. There is like, every episode, there's somebody that you go, this person is showing up? That's nuts. like we mentioned at the end of the last episode, Burt Reynolds plays Malibu Dan's dad. Like he's
Mr. Burt Reynolds is the father, and he reads like a commercial for soap at the end of each episode. And there's a bunch of pictures of him and his real child, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, that's definitely, those are real. Like that's creepy. The fact that it's just photos of him and his real kid and they're like, that's Malibu Dan with him. It's like, no, that's whatever, Kurt Reynolds.
It's a weird worldview that just is icky to me. I don't want to imagine Malibu Dan as his son in the 70s.
Yeah. I mean, it does make sense that he grew up to be a race car driver, though. That tracks, because, you know, Burt Reynolds was known for being a car guy. He's a gearhead, which I don't think you can call people that anymore. But he was a gearhead. That's what he called himself.
Well, he's a bandit.
Well, exactly. And I know cars, so I can use the term gearhead. It's fine. I know cars personally. I have lots of friends that are cars, so I can use the word gearhead. It's no big deal. Nobody get offended.
Is that disparaging?
Yes. It's sad that most of my friends are cars.
I mean, robots have gears. That would make me a gearhead.
That's true. Your best friend is a robot.
Robot, yeah.
Yeah. Burt Reynolds died not long after making this show. Do you think they put him in the child's coffin that Reggie's trying to sell? Do you think the show ends with the actual announcement that Burt Reynolds is dead and Reggie goes, sold! We got a live one.
I could imagine Burt Reynolds in that coffin because I'd think he'd want like a gritty, mountain coffin, not some city slicking marble piece of crap.
I mean, he was probably buried in whatever the equivalent of a child's race car bed of a coffin is. If I had to guess.
Did you have a race car bed when you were a child?
No, God, no. My family was lower middle class. We did not have race car beds.
But there's no way they cost more than like a real bed.
Yes, they do. You know how much plastic is in a race car bed? Lots.
That's cheap.
It's cheap.
Wood is expensive.
Wood is expensive. Well, I had a metal bed frame, like a hard red metal bed frame. So on my single bed,
they put a bunch of spray foam on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sleep, I wish we were sleeping right now instead of watching Hitting the Brakes.
I got tired eyes today.
Yeah, you do. I got Betty Davis eyes. You've got tired eyes. Well, what time did you stay up till last night?
I was yerking till probably midnight.
Nice.
I was reading a book.
What were you reading? Let's talk about that instead of hitting the brakes.
Ready Player 2.
All right, moving on. I don't want to talk about that. First one sucked. Second one sounds even worse. So
I like a pulpy science fiction once and again, and it's hitting the spot.
it's hitting the brakes.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know there's actually a good bit in this episode? There's like an actual funny thing that happens.
Is it the Vegucated shirt?
Yes. It's everything. What's her name? Sky. It's everything she does. Sky.
Yeah. Okay, hit it with me.
All right.
Hit me with it.
Hit it with me.
Hit it with me.
He's pointing at his wife right now. There's an actual good bit in this episode where earlier on they're talking about what's her name's parents coming to visit, Holiday Sinclair's parents coming to visit, and there's all these quick talking head vignettes of people being like, blah 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 blah, and then the next person blah 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 blah, and the next person blah 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 blah, and then they cut to Ray Wise and he goes, I'm not even supposed to be introduced till the next scene. And that made me laugh. I was like, that's a good bit actually. That's not bad. Very meta and weird.
That makes me think I have brain damage because I didn't see that at all. What was I looking at?
Probably Beverly D'Angelo's butt or whoever it was, Morgan Fairchild. I kept thinking it was Beverly D'Angelo the whole episode.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
I mean, that's a funny joke. I'm not even supposed to be introduced till the next scene. So that's pretty good, Ray Wise. That's funny.
His great introduction to the character and his aloofness.
That's correct, yeah. And it breaks the
What
fourth
about
wall.
the scene where they're prayer fighting?
Oh, that is one thing this show has over Malibu Dan, is that there's a lot more God in it and prayer, tons of prayer. Yeah. What did you explain the prayer fight?
Well, Malibu Dan and Holiday Sinclair are on either side of their bed, kneeling, and just closed eyes, hands clasped, and they're just yelling at each other, but also yelling at God at the same time.
That's true. Being like, maybe if you could kill Ray Wise, God, that would be great. And Holiday's like, don't kill my dad, Ray Wise. Don't listen to Dan. He's a sinner and a heathen and a sodomite. And Dan's like, what happens in our bedroom stays in our bedroom. Please don't tell God I'm a sodomite. Please.
Maybe if Dan was better in bed, I'd have let him race cars still. That sort of thing.
Maybe if he was better in bed, we'd have 5 kids instead of 2.
Yeah, and that's a real slight in the Christian community, only having 2 kids.
How are you going to carry on your legacy? Not if you're Squirt Reynolds. You don't got to worry about that.
What do you think the process of getting Burt Reynolds on this show was?
I don't know. They probably reached out to his agent, and then they said, or his publicist, or probably his agent, and we're like, hey, we want to hire Burt Reynolds to lay in bed while he's dying and read 2 paragraphs worth of lines.
Yeah.
And then
total.
Give us a bunch of pictures of him and his real life kid. And they went, all right, he'll do it for free. He's dying. He doesn't care. He'll do it for free. Whatever.
I imagine they paid him some ungodly amount to do this.
That's a good point. I mean, it is Burt Reynolds, right? Like,
yeah.
Who doesn't love Burt Reynolds? I love Smokey and the Bandit. I love the Cannonball Run. Those are movies I watched a lot as a teenager. They're great.
This might be the biggest star that has ever appeared in a Pure Flix original.
Are you forgetting Dean Cain?
Superman's Dean Cain?
Are you forgetting the farmer from Babe? I guess
so like I said,
yeah, a guy so famous star. A guy so famous that we know him as not even the name of his character, just who he played in a movie. The farmer from Babe.
I mean, Cannonball Run was it.
Oh, it was. Cannonball Run was awesome. If only Dom DeLuise wasn't dead. He would have been great on Hitting the Brakes. Fire that stupid biker and hire Dom DeLuise instead.
He would have been Hitting the Brakes. Like, he would have encapsulated that show and definitely wouldn't have been a vegan restaurant.
No, God, no. He was a race car driver going around the track and then, oh, crashed into the wall and slammed my door down. Great. I
want to see more racing shots.
Yeah, I want a lot of, like, that's the thing, is they tease us with this great racing footage in the opening credits, including a CGI car crash. This is pretty good.
Yeah, do you think that was CGI'd or just like...
Well, the
car crash.
The crash is a real car crash, but then when it goes up on the wall, that's a CGI car. That's not footage from the actual race. That's a CGI car crashing. It's pretty good.
Well, let's slow it down and watch it.
Well, you're saying we should hit the brakes?
Yeah, let's hitting the brakes.
The town they are in is called Long Drop, Colorado. Huh?
Is that real?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's the name of the town, but I don't know if it's a real... I doubt it's a real town. It's a real Schitt's Creek situation. Other people have made this comparison, but this show really wants to be Schitt's Creek. Like 100% wants to be Schitt's Creek, and just isn't in any way, shape, or form, other than...
It wants to slam The Office and Schitt's Creek together, and God and old actors.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work.
No. God, we have to do 8 more episodes of it, because there are people pointing guns to our heads. God is pointing a gun to our head and saying, I'll put you in that child's coffin if you don't finish watching Hitting the Brakes.
I feel like mentally we'll reset. We'll get into it. I'm going to start looking for a dartboard that's stupidly placed. And I'm just going to try to make this fun, because if we keep going at this pace, we'll be dead.
Yeah, we're already at like a 0 out of 10. I don't know. Like, we're already not on the team. We can't get any more not on the team. So I don't know what we're going to do. Johnny.
Very well said.
I don't know what we're going to do.
Well, we should probably maybe come up with bits or try to make our own fun with it, is what I'm trying to say.
That's a good point. I mean, it's a midweek freak treat, so, like, you don't have to listen to this, listeners. You don't have to.
Yeah, frick off.
Yeah, like, it's a midweek freak treat. So you're still getting your usual Pure Boys. We're coming to the end of Cowgirl Summer right now, and what a summer it's been. We've learned a lot. We've all got fricked by horses. We're having a great time. But, this is just a gift to you. This isn't really like a show that we enjoy doing, midweek freak treat.
We hate this.
I mean, what are we going to do after this? Maybe that's what we should spend the rest of this show doing, figuring out what show we're going to do after.
Sons of Thunder.
Okay. I think there's even less episodes of Sons of Thunder, so I'm down for that. It's only 8 episodes of it, I think.
What about that craft show with Holiday Sinclair? That looked even worse.
I mean, why don't we just... yeah, why don't we just do Schitt's Creek? Let's just do Schitt's Creek after this.
They really needed to have a priest in that show.
I mean, we were going to do After the Encounter. That's what we were going to do. The post-show wrap-up show of the Encounter show, which I still think is a great idea.
Maybe we should just do Frasier.
We're already 6 months into Five-Sure, so...
People are going to be so confused since Five-Sure didn't come out. People are probably at their computers trying to find our feed books like crazy.
I know.
Every day, all day.
Why can't I buy jars of Yiz with feed pics in them? Why can't I buy them? Where are they?
Yeah, you told me they are available and they were already out.
You said, I promise you that's a real thing. Well, guess what? We recorded that 2 months before it came out, and then we just never did it. So what do you care? Our Patreon, no, our OnlyFans exists. We're just not going to do anything with it, probably. Or maybe we will when we become famous. Who knows? For now, we're hitting the brakes, hitting the brakes, hitting the brakes.
Bum.
I was going to play some music, and I just didn't do it, so...
Yeah, you look like you had your music, I'm about to play music face on.
Yeah, that's true.
And then nothing happened.
Sorry. All right, let's do it again. I'm hitting the brakes.
Slow. We're living in a hotel.
Best episode ever.